Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand 24/7. Download the 77 WABC mobile app now. A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Joining us now is Kim Strassel. Of course, she's with the editorial board with the Wall Street Journal. Kim, first of all, so thrilled that Evan Gerskovich came home. I had tears of joy. I was watching it live when he landed. But also your thoughts about where Kamala Harris is going to go now. Who do you think she's going to pick? Do you have any inside track?
Well, we are all so relieved. Thank you for those very kind words about Evan, because it's such a joyful day that he managed to get back. Look, I think everyone understands what would be best for Kamala, which would be a swing state governor, a man, balance out the ticket, somebody that isn't entirely on the record as being an out-and-out crazy progressive, that shows that they have some ability to work and have a crossover appeal. And then there's likely what her campaign will do. And that's the most remarkable thing is that would be the smart play. But her progressive left is putting so much heat on her to only choose the most purest of progressive running mates. I mean, they are running an assassination attempt right now on the character of Josh Shapiro, because that's what she's facing.
Yeah. And also, by the way, even Mark Kelly, it's like there's like all this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see where she goes. One of the things, too, that you wrote about just recently is the buying of votes by the current administration. And look at all the secret. Even this week, there was a whole bunch more on the student loans. It's like, oh, yeah, we'll give you this. We'll give you this. It reminds me of Obama, because people voted. I remember interviewing people outside of the election booths, and after they'd come out from the polls, and I'd say, who'd you vote for? And they'd say, I voted for Obama because he's going to give me a free phone. He's going to give me a free this. It's like this. It's like this on steroids now.
Republicans need to remember this, because this is a really important aspect of this election going forward. Last year, the Biden administration acknowledged that they can't run on their record. It's too dismal. So instead, they're going to try to buy different voting constituencies as they go into this election. And they've done it with, obviously, the student loan money they've been putting out. We just saw their big pitch in the last week to all the crazy activists on the left who want to dismantle the Supreme Court and pack it with new justices. Joe Biden's now on board with that. National rent control that he just suggested. But this was going to be his plan for reelection. It is now being transferred to Kamala Harris. And the goal here of the media and the left is to make sure nobody ever sees him in public so that he can't do anything embarrassing, but to continue handing out those favors and to get the base, give them a taste of how wonderful it will be if they can have the White House for another 8 years, all the goodies and the handouts. So you're getting, they just announced this week $2.2 billion in payments to 43,000 farmers, ranchers, and forest landowners who, quote, experienced discrimination prior to January 2021. That's aimed for certain states where they want to try to get their candidates across the line, including Kamala Harris.
Yeah, it's the old buying of the vote. Vito.
Yeah, I think part of the campaign strategy as well is to reveal her positions. Even though she said she's now a totally new person and you can just erase the past, it's up to everybody on the other side to remind everybody what her true positions truly are, what the implications are to people across this country. And I'm curious, Kim, is this just a sugar high with this euphoria in the polls? And one blessing we have these days is time. Just a few weeks ago, right? Kamala Harris wasn't the nominee. It was Joe Biden off, and he's going to sail to victory. So in a few weeks, who the heck knows where we're going to be? I'm curious as if there's a feeling in Washington or across the country that this is just a sugar high, and perhaps we're going to get back to the real debate in a few weeks.
And Kim, we just have a few seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a question Republicans have to ask them. It's going to depend on what Republicans do. They're giving her too much of a pass still right now, and the media is certainly not going to help expose her.
Yeah, that is the thing. And they have to do their job. They were started to finally at the end of the Biden, when everything was going on, saying, because it was so bad what we saw during the debate. But suddenly they've kind of forgotten about all that and they have to get back to their roots of journalism. I agree. Kim, thank you so much. It's really great to see you and great to talk with you. Thank you always.
Thanks for having me on.